Welcome back. Okay, this week's video is for, um, why did I just say week? Oh well. This day's video is for Tuesday. It's based on the history of the Trail of Tears. Okay, so the Trail of Tears. When I looked this up, I actually found that it said Cherokee Trail of Tears, but from what I've understand, it's not just the Cherokee Indians that were affected. I'll explain that later in the thing. Uh, the Cherokee Trail of Tears resulted from the enforcement of the Treaty of New Echota or something like that. I can't say it. An agreement signed under the provisions of the Indian Removal Act of 1830, which took Native American lands for lands in the west of the Mississippi River. In other words, they made them move to that place instead. They took their land and made them move. Is basically, yeah. They suffered from exposure, disease, and starvation. More than 10,000 died before they reached their destination. Cherokee, Muskogee, Seminole, Chickasaw, and Choctaw Indians were removed from their lands, so obviously it wasn't just the Cherokee. They were forced to march by different militias as well as different state police and militias for those states as well. From what I understand, the Indians actually actually I guess they sued somebody from what I read. They sued somebody for living on Indian lands, and this was in Georgia at the time, and Georgia actually went ahead with it. They took it to the Supreme Court, and this guy was put in jail for 4 years for living on Indian lands without a permit. Um, he was later released because he took it back to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court told him this is Indian land. They have their own laws. This is what they follow, and this is what you should follow. But the President of the United States, uh, Andrew Jackson, I do believe, yeah, Andrew Jackson didn't like that. So what he did is he signed in the Treaty of New Echota. I still can't say that. I'm butchering the name. Anyway, so he ended up signing it because I guess he didn't want to fight it. I don't know. The treaty was signed on May 23rd, 1836. They were forced to move in 1838, I do believe. Yes. They were given a couple of years to move on their own. Some of them did, some of them did not. And so when the time came at 1838, militias and armies came in and forced the remaining to pack up, and they made them march even on the worst days, hot and cold. And so that's where the exposure came in, because they forced them to march on days when nobody should be marching or even walking through snow and heat and things. So that's how that 10,000 died. Exposure and starvation and all this other stuff. Because apparently the Cherokee were the last ones to be moved, I guess, from what I understand. I may be wrong on that, so don't quote me. Uh, it is online. I have looked this up online, so if you want to go and make sure that what I'm saying is correct, you can. There's no there's nothing really bad about you doing that. Um It all started with the discovery of gold in 1828 in Delonga, Georgia. I can't say that either. Sorry, guys, if you live in Georgia and you know what that and you know how to say that, I'm sorry I butchered it. But that's what actually started the whole movement of getting Indians out of their own land is they found gold there and they didn't want the Indians to have it apparently, which is ridiculous because Indians don't give a shit about that. At least I don't think they ever did, and I don't agree with the fact that we moved them out of their own lands to get to it. I think we could have found a different alternative and different route for it, but past, there's nothing we can do about it now. So, that is a little bit of history on that. I didn't quite go into full detail because I don't feel good and I didn't want to work my butt off to do it per se. I will be making another video for Tuesday, but I depends on how I feel. Considering I'm doing all these videos on a Sunday. So I will see you guys next time in the next video, and